Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today in the Ask SSM video series, got an email from a subscriber. Sounds like he's probably 19, 20 years old, maybe 21, young guy. He's been following me since I started the channel, so since like high school. And he's writing in because a buddy of his, or technically an ex-buddy of his, has gotten himself into a lot of trouble. This friend of his, who obviously is not exactly James Bond with the ladies, got himself involved with an older woman who's 2 years older than him, who has 2 kids from different daddies, rushed into a relationship with her, and just recently married her, trying to be the white knight hero. And this guy is in for a world of hurt and trouble by getting involved with this gal and, of course, marrying her. And he writes in telling the whole story about this, looking for my advice to potentially help this guy out. And you're going to see that this guy also wrote in on behalf of this dude's mother, who's close with him, asking me to do a video here on where this guy's gone wrong, and hopefully maybe the son, she'll show this to the son, helping him, hoping that he will have a, see the bigger picture with what's going on, because the guy clearly doesn't know what he's doing and is in for a world of hurt with this gal. So for a lot of guys out there that rush into relationships with gals that are obviously pro-carousel riders, as we call them, that are using guys for the resources, this will help you guys out and understand why you can't do that, and how so many guys are susceptible to a pretty girl, thinking that things will be different with them and all that, and it turns into disaster. So it starts off, he says, "Hello SSM. I've been a subscriber around the time you had 1,000 subscribers. Your channels have helped me in my time of need, but this story isn't about me." Bro, thank you for your support. 1,000 subscribers. We're talking March 2020, when I was still doing the videos on the couch in my condo. I really appreciate your support. My friend has made some stupid decisions lately. I'll call him Dan. It started when he met some girl on a Call of Duty Warzone. I'll call her Beth. After talking for a few months, they began dating. She's 21 and he's 19, by the way. She didn't reveal the fact that she had 2 kids from 2 different men after they've been dating for only 2 weeks. 2 kids from 2 different men by the age of 21. Does this sound like a responsible girl to you? Does this sound like girlfriend material? Hell no. Run for the hills. By 21. Dan said, why didn't she tell him before? And Beth said that all the jerks said that she dated before wouldn't accept the fact that she had kids and broke up with her. Oh, they're jerks because they broke up with her and they found out she had 2 kids by 21? Yeah, sure. These guys were smart. Dan said he'd accept her no matter what. Smack. Girl hears that. She's like, yes, I got myself a sucker. I got myself a white knight who will provide and I get things from. Never tell a girl that. After that, Dan became distant and would sometimes leave me and my other friends hanging so he can go hang out with her and her kids. Smack. You never did tell your bros and all that to hang out with some girl. But that's a classic nice guy thing they do. You've all heard it. No, you keep hanging out with your bros and doing what you enjoy. And you see a girl about once a week, maybe twice on occasion. Otherwise, wrapped around her finger and totally pee-whipped. Right here. They would go out to dinner and he would pay every time and he would give her flowers and validate her often. Smack. Why isn't she paying? This is 2022, the time of equality. He's basically your average nice guy. I suspect that she's trying to settle down and she knows that he's weak. You can bet your ass she's trying to settle down and knows 2 kids at 21 years old. She needs resources. She needs a provider. But you think for a second that her old ways are going to change? I don't think so. Dan is average and Beth is above average in looks. I told Dan I think he's rushing things and he should truly think about what he's doing. Dan laughed at me and said, I'm just jealous that he's dating a hot chick and I'm not. I looked at him and I said, fine, have it your way. And I walked away and I haven't said a word to him since. You know what? You said your piece. He's already burning bridges by no longer, he's ditching you guys when you're supposed to hang out, and you're trying to talk to him and talk some sense and be helpful, and he doesn't want to hear it. This is what happens to a lot of guys. They get themselves in a situation they don't want to hear. They don't want to think that the girl they're with is not what she seems or what they hope. That's always a classic example. They don't want to hear that they're potentially screwing up because nobody wants to hear they're screwing up. So there you go, major resistance. At that point, you say what you got to say, and, but it doesn't stop there. A few weeks later, Dan's mother, who I'll call Maria, knocked at my door. She asked to speak with me. Maria has been a mother figure to me throughout my whole life. When I was young, my parents abandoned me and I've been living with a distant relative since. Maria was always willing to help me when she could. So, we had a talk in the front porch and she told me that Dan and Beth got married and Dan is being sent to Navy basic training soon. Oh my God. Maria told me she tried telling him that she's no good and that things won't end well. Maria even told him that party girls don't make good wives and that her kids would now be his problem regardless. Yes, of course, given the situation, rushed to get married to her. He doesn't know her. He's a kid. This is why I do what I do, and I share these stories and videos so young guys don't make these mistakes. For years, I've been watching your channels and ones like yours, and I know that things aren't going to end well for him. You're right. Maria then told me the reason he married her was because he wouldn't be able to support her while he was in the Navy. Dan's dad died when he was 4 years old in a car accident, and he's never had a male role model just like me. Maria thinks this is the primary reason he's acting like this. Maria then told me if I knew anyone that could help. I told her about your channel, and she told me to write to you and see if you'll make a video so she could show her son. I agreed and told her that she's been there for me, and I'll help her in any way that I can. Thanks, SSM, and have a good day. Oh boy, pressure's on me now, huh? Okay, well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to be jumping around here because that's kind of how my mind operates here. First of all, no guy, like I said before, wants to hear that he fucked up. And no guy wants to make him feel that his girl is not what he hopes and thinks that she is. So, to Maria the mom, because I know Maria is the code name in the bro here, it's going to be very hard to convince him that things aren't exactly going too well. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to get in. Number one, no particular order, nobody should freaking get married at 19 and 21 years old. You're out of your damn mind. And I don't care about that your parents or grandparents got married when they were that young. That was the old days, as they call it. Okay, nowadays, 2022, people coming out in their early 20s have the maturity level, most of them, of high school kids when I was in high school. Thanks to helicopter parents and all that type of thing, not letting the kids grow up and mature. Way too freaking young. You gotta be out of your mind to get married that young. And I don't care if you're going in the Navy and unless she's your wife, she's gonna be you can't provide for her. No, you need to take years to get to know somebody, to really get to know somebody. Okay, way too young. Number two, this marriage relationship was rushed into. You don't rush into it with a girl. I get that she's pretty, fine, but you know what? You need to take your time, a long time, for getting any kind of relationship with somebody. Another thing, this dude, 19 years old, and she's 21. She has 2 kids. 2 kids by age 21. Does that seem like a responsible person to you? Does that seem like girlfriend material? Gals like that are what we call carousel riders. And you can look that up because I got to speak in code here. Party girls, not girlfriend material. The mother, Maria, is 100% right about this. In this situation, listen to the woman. And your buddy here has been, and the guy writing in is right. He's telling this guy to not, that this is a mistake and that she's probably using him. Well, is using him. But he doesn't want to hear it. In my opinion, based on all the things I do, and I've done about 1,400 videos on both channels, and I'm 45 years old and have a life experience, she is using it. Because gals will party with the bad boys for a while and have a great time, and they won't give the nice guys the time of day. The type of guys that are willing to be the hero, the white knights, to pay for all the meals, take in the kids, do all these gestures, buy her flowers like described. Those type of guys, these gals don't give the time of day to. They roll in the head with Chad and Tyrone, the bad boys, until they have a couple of Chad and Tyrone's babies, 2 kids from 2 different daddies by 21 years old, and they need somebody to help pay the bills because they can't do it all. Then they find the nice guy, and this is what we have here. And the nice guys are all willing to help. We call them white knights. You can't be a white knight. White knights are taken advantage of. These white knights will then think they're going to be the big savior and save the girl because of her troubled past and all that. And they'll feel bad for her, and they're going to be the big hero because that's what the movies tell the guys to do. And they're going to take those kids in and raise them right and be the good man because they themselves maybe didn't have a family growing up. And what happens? They're taken advantage of. Why isn't she paying for dinners? Why isn't she doing things like that? I don't know her. I'll admit that, but I know the type, okay? And so what happens is they rush off to get in relationships with them. They rush off to get married to them, just like this. And the next thing you know, once that girl has that guy locked in, then that guy, he thinks he's taking care of his family because he's going to be the strong provider, and he gets cheated on. Because these types, these carousel riders, these party girls, they don't stop. And what typically happens with guys in the military, and I've done videos on this with tens of thousands of comments from guys all over the world that either this happened to them or guys they knew that they were in the service with. The guys ship out, they're deployed, and the wife is back on home in the housing. And the second they ship out, the women are waving bye, and they take that ring off, and they're off to the bars, meeting dudes, and rolling in the hay while those guys are deployed, often in harm's way. As long as they can get a paycheck, get that housing, get that health care for them and their kids. It's a bad situation. No guy wants to hear the shit I'm saying if they've gotten themselves into a situation like this. But I'm not about sugarcoating things, and I'm keeping it real here. So if this video makes it to the young guy in the story, yes, you're married to her, and so that brings about a situation, and I'm sure you don't want to hear this, but you could be in for a world of hurt, my friend. I don't want that to happen to you. Your buddy here doesn't want that to happen to you, even though you're not talking to him. Your mom doesn't want that to happen to you, and it will happen. I'm telling you. And you may say, guy in the sunglasses in his car, you don't know her. Yeah, I know the type. And the odds are greatly what's going to happen. Because again, 2 kids from different daddies by 21 years old, that says pretty much everything I need to know. And rushing into things. And yeah, she may be hot, and she may be great in bed. She better be great in bed because she had 2 kids by 21. I think she obviously is well rehearsed in that department. It's not worth it. But a good man like you, you need to take your time. But you're married now. And so if you actually take this video seriously, and you may question some things, I'd talk to an attorney. I'd talk to an attorney and find out all your options, good, bad, or ugly. Sounds like you're recently married. Maybe you can get it annulled. I don't know. I'm not an attorney. I don't know that element of things. To the mother, and the bro wrote this in, if he was just engaged to her and hadn't been married yet, it'd be a lot easier. But now he's married, makes things a little more complicated. So the best thing I can say is talk to an attorney. But as the guy that wrote in this story is well aware, and the mother Maria, because that's her code name, is aware, this is not going to go well. And I wholeheartedly agree there. So I wish this guy the best, and the best thing I can say is this: I said my piece with these types of gals and why guys get sucked in by them, no pun intended. And what's going to happen? It's not going to go well. This guy's going to be cheated on, he's going to be hurt, and at the end of the day, I don't want to see this happen to a good man. So, to the bro and to the mother that wanted me to write this in, this is what I think. And you can present this to him and say what you got to say. But at the end of the day, if the guy in question, Dan, that's his code name, doesn't want to hear it, and then that's it. You did your part, and what happens, happens. But sadly, it's like, it makes me think of this scene in Jurassic Park when Dr. Ian Malcolm said, boy, I hate it when I'm right all the time, with regards to the dinosaurs and what happened. It's like I kind of think the same thing. Boy, I hate it when I'm right all the time because these awful things usually happen. They're pretty predictable. But I wish this guy the best. Please listen to your mom. Please listen to your bro and look at the big situation, the big picture. But guys, let's learn from this situation here. You cannot rush into relationships. You cannot rush into marriage. You cannot get married so young. Way too freaking young. You can't get in relationships with gals that have babies from multiple daddies, particularly that young age. They are party girls. They're carousel riders. Bad idea. You can't be the white knight hero to go save them because they can't be saved. If you're that good man, work on yourself and your life, and maybe one day you'll meet a good girl, a traditional girl, if you're careful and lucky. And she'll be deserving of your good ways. But gals like this, hell no. If you get involved in something like this, it's going to end very badly. So that's what I think. Hopefully it helps. Probably not. I may get some hate from this, but we'll see. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below and let me know what you think about this. Let this guy know what you think in the comment section, guys. This is an SOS. I need your help. It may take 30 seconds or a minute of your time to comment away to tell this guy, don't make this mistake. This girl's trouble. What he can do, what you think, all that. This will help him out. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.